if you've got a fantastic product that's solving a really hard problem for people, maybe ignore what we're saying if you believe that you can really do it.
Yeah, and also the problem here is as well that customers not always understand like what businesses or companies pay to get like a product from the fulfillment center to your front door. They all think it's for free these days. Well, actually for a business, there's going so much money inside, the whole process to get a product to a customer.
Honest Ecommerce is a weekly podcast where we interview direct-to-consumer brand founders and leaders to find out what it takes to start, grow, and scale an online business today. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest Ecommerce. Today I'm welcoming to the show not one, but two founders of Here's Bob and Nick. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks, Chase.
Now, for those that haven't heard about you, oh man, I'm going to do puns all day. For those that haven't heard about you, what is Here's doing? What's like the top selling product that you guys are bringing to market over there?
Shall I top it off, Nick?
Let's do it.
We launched Here's about 2 years ago with the intention of bringing an earplug to market that doesn't diminish the sound quality and still makes you hear clear music and clear voices in loud environments while still protecting your ears in a very, very short explanation.
Absolutely. Now, take me back in time. Where did the ideation, how did this come about? What were you guys thinking about?
We, of course, already came from an e-commerce background. We founded another company called Dore Rose, which we've been running for about 4 years. So we understood what were the requirements of a good e-commerce product. So the next product that we wanted to bring to market was already going to be lightweight, not too many sizes, easy to ship worldwide, problem solving, because it would tap the requirements for what we consider a good e-commerce product. And that went, of course, hand in hand with the desire or the needs that we saw in the earplug industry, because we saw people wearing earplugs around us. We went to music events ourselves. We went to concerts, festivals. We went clubbing. We weren't protecting our ears. And the earplugs that we did try, they weren't as convincing enough for us to keep wearing them. Many of them were muffling the sound. Some of them looked really ugly. So we had a set of needs in designing an earplug or bringing an earplug to market. And yeah, we saw the opportunity there, and we spent a lot of time researching and eventually developing the earplug that we wanted ourselves. And we really thought if we could convince ourselves of wearing earplugs, then we can convince a whole generation of people. And that's what we're trying to do to this day.
That's amazing. Now, obviously, with your previous business, the experience makes launching business number 2 a lot easier. Where did your story start with just e-commerce in general? How did you get into this industry? How did you cut your teeth? How did you kind of learn the ropes?
Yeah, I think it's also a fun story to just tell that Bob and I are, best friends already since that we are 12 years old. We have been living together for 4 years together in Amsterdam as students. And we had both of us had a completely different career path. I was already in the D2C space, e-commerce, for quite a long time, since I was 20, 21. I'm now 29. So you can imagine along the way you have seen, the growth of e-commerce in general, and the changes that has been going on, especially when it comes to e-commerce. And Bob had a completely different career path. But in marketing, he was the head of marketing for Super 73 electric bike company. He brought it from LA to Europe. And we always saw the expertise of each other, the drive, the ambition, the energy that we have put in our own work. And then obviously always had conversations late evenings, late nights at the kitchen table. And then we always said, if the opportunity gets there will be a point that we start something together. And then obviously Dore Rose came across our path, like 2 young kids without any knowledge, just went for it. Had a lot of learnings along the way. And then after 3 years, that took off basically. And that was also the time that Here's came across. So we could implement basically all the mistakes and all the learnings that we faced in the first 3 years of doing e-commerce for our other brand. And then also talking about working with the right partners, working with the right software, working with the right people around us, been doing a lot of mistakes in terms of advertising and how to sell a product actually in the market worldwide. And bringing basically all those learnings when it comes to product market fit, advertising, from the start into Here's. And obviously Here's is a completely different approach because we have been used to sell products basically based on white labeling, right? We saw a huge trend coming up in the beauty industry. We were like, okay, let's attack this differently. We launched silk pillowcases, but obviously from the shelf, and we made our own twist to make it more, elegant, to have some additional USPs compared to the rest of the market. While Here's is a product that's developed and produced from scratch, from zero. It's a design that you have never seen before. What Bob said, it's built on our needs, on our personal requirements. That's how we basically went to the drawing board with obviously people that has knowledge about product designing and all that stuff, because we were absolutely not experienced with that. So we surrounded ourselves by experts in the field to help us out and to make this happen.
Most brands outgrow their legacy choices long before they switch. Bad platform decisions do not fail all at once. They fail slowly, then suddenly. First, it is one workaround, then another tool, then another integration that is duct taped on top. And eventually, your team is spending more time managing the stack than actually marketing to customers. Eventually, rebuilding is less painful than staying, usually when it starts to show up on the P&L. That's when scaling brands simplify and standardize on Klaviyo. Klaviyo is the AI-first B2C CRM. It combines your customer data, email, SMS, analytics, and customer experience tools into one platform, so you're not stitching together 5 different systems just to understand what your customers are doing. Your database updates in real time, your segments update automatically, your flows, campaigns, and personalization all run off the same source of truth. And that shift is why many brands are moving to Klaviyo. Brands like Dollar Shave Club have reduced total CRM stack costs by over 30% after consolidating onto Klaviyo. Multi-brand operators like Mark Fisher have migrated multiple brands and drastically reduced the time required to execute CRM marketing. And brands using email and SMS together inside Klaviyo are seeing massive ROI compared to running channels in separate platforms. The big unlock is simplicity and scale at the same time. Klaviyo is built for marketers, not for engineers. It is built for online businesses just like yours, and it is built for where e-commerce is going, not where it was 5 years ago. If you're running email and SMS across multiple tools, or you're on a legacy platform and thinking about your next phase of growth, it's probably time to look at Klaviyo. Go to klaviyo.com/honest and see why hundreds of thousands of brands have already made the switch. That's klaviyo.com/honest, klaviyo.com/honest. Now, it's such a unique opportunity here to talk about both of the businesses, kind of that going from 0 to 1, finding product market fit phase. And now I don't want to really dive super far into Dore and Rose, but let's try to speed run the first 3 years. How did you get started? There are people out there listening right now. They're like, they have a good idea for a product potentially, and they're really at that beginning phase, right? So what were some of the first steps? How did you actually start to sell these white labeled products to strangers on the internet? Just walk me through the kind of the 1, 2, 3 that actually got you to sales.
I think especially when it comes to e-commerce, it all starts with like, what problem do you want to solve? Because that's eventually how you can attract customers, because people are day in, day out trying to find solutions for problems in their lives. And that's also how you're able to sell people from behind the screens, and like Bob explained, for us, it all started with a problem that we couldn't find the right hearing protection for ourselves. And we knew about the importance of hearing protection. So I will always suggest it start with like finding a problem and what product solves this problem.
Absolutely. You were asking also about Dore Rose here, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to kind of compare and contrast the figuring it out for business one to what was the learnings that accelerated the growth with business two? Because obviously the growth was just massively different.
Yeah. So also for to answer your question on what started our first brand and what we focused on is you can guess it, paid media. We went all in on meta ads, and the first few steps of really understanding how to sell a product and bring the product first time to market was indeed the right problem-solving product. So not just a random product, a problem-solving product in combination with paid media and the right paid media strategies, high-intensity creative testing, and having a great website, having a great engine to actually sell it from. To have a very short answer to what were the first steps on bringing Dore Rose to market, because obviously there's millions of learnings that we eventually implemented in our next brand.
Absolutely. Now, was that the concept of like making sure your product solves a problem? Was that learned from experience, or was that something that you had learned from your previous work?
If I can speak for Nick, he already had some experience in direct response marketing. I was more on the brand side of things, so it was completely new to me to directly go for, we're talking about 4 years ago, to directly go for, the direct buy and not really building a brand, just like, here's the problem you have, here is the solution we have, and please buy. That was completely new to me. So for Nick, it has been experience. For me, it was fairly new. And I think where we thrived was the combination of understanding of branding and direct response marketing. And we applied that to this day.
Now, I always like to set expectations around just like what it takes to break a brand online with like paid media. You don't have to get down to the dollars and cents, but you remember like what budgets were like at the beginning as you were testing creatives. And also let's tie it to a year when we're talking about Dore and Rose, like how you actually kind of got that creative engine off the ground. Cause I think people kind of guess lower than what it actually takes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can start and try out already, not even from paid, but also organic, especially these days, try to find some content creators that want to try out your product for free. Let them post on TikTok or Instagram. That's how you can find traction to your product already. But I would say back then, I mean, we didn't have the budget to spend like a couple of $100 a day to test out some creative. So we went very carefully, and basically every week we took a different approach by a different angle or a different persona. And then at one point, some personas sticked and we knew, okay, we can go double down on this. So it's definitely, and the time has been changing, right? So what I said right now, you can start even more affordable by testing organically, and what's working organically, like 95% of the time works on paid too. But like $50, $40 a day, give it some time, let it run, would give you already enough answers on, if the ads or the angle potentially can work, from paid media side. And your question was as well, like, how did that change to the current situation? Like how much testing budget or how much do we spend on a monthly base? That goes into the 7 figures a month. Right now, what we spend on paid media.
Hey, store owners, do you know how profitable your last big decision was on your Shopify store? Most testing tools make it easy to measure design changes, small tweaks, headlines, layouts, button colors. But what about the decisions that really move the business? Pricing changes, shipping rates, discount strategy, even new apps and tools. Those are usually left to gut feel. Intelligems brings CRO-level clarity to decisions that live beyond the page. Brands like Ridge, Jones Road, and True Classics are using Intelligems to test pricing, offers, shipping, and more, and see exactly how each choice impacts profit. Momofuku used Intelligems to test multiple promotional offers ahead of Black Friday and identify the version that ultimately increased profit by about 28%. Mott & Bow used Intelligems to run structured pricing and offer tests that helped drive roughly a 30% increase in incremental profit. Dossier used Intelligems to run site-wide testing that resulted in about a 7.4% increase in profit per visitor across their store. They have a bunch more case studies on their website. I'm a big fan of Intelligems. We use Intelligems to test major site changes, new theme launches, and throughout ongoing CRO work. So when we are making decisions around design, pricing, offers, etc., we can be confident that those changes are actually driving more profit for our clients. So before you start changing pricing, promos, and major site experiences across your store all willy-nilly, you should probably test it first. If you're ready to decide confidently and grow profitably, head on over to Intelligems.io. That's Intelligems.io and use code HONEST for 10% off your first 3 months. That's Intelligems.io. Use code HONEST. But you scaled to there. You just didn't start, there. Bob, you said something earlier when you were talking about tiers and about the product that I kind of want to just touch back on. It was a lightweight product. Can you talk about why that was important to you for the second business?
Absolutely. So we have a strategy on where we directly scale our brands worldwide. We want to be able to be sold in basically almost every country in the world. So we set up our ecosystem like our Shopify markets or 3PL also in that way. We choose for 3PLs that which we can ship internationally very fast and affordable. So a lightweight product comes with that. If we were selling products that were too heavy, it would have been expensive to fulfill that from one or only very few fulfillment centers. So lightweight was one of the criteria for us to also launch a product and directly scale it worldwide.
It's all about the unit economics as well that comes with like a scalable e-commerce business, I would say. There needs to be enough acquisition cost for your paid media to scale up a business, within a short time frame. Because we have seen many different businesses where either you have like a very high cost of goods, but the perceived value is not high enough to, get that 75% gross profit margin, for example. And let's say in general, lower cost of goods products can in comparison with like higher products, have a better perceived value, especially how you brand the product in a certain way, which allows you to have a lot more margin to spend indeed on advertising. So it all comes down to the unit economics and if it makes sense for your acquisition cost, basically.
And just knowing that shipping has a certain perception these days, how Amazon has kind of changed the game there, and free shipping, free returns, all that stuff, it just eats into your margins. And if you had a bulky product or a heavy product, you're getting hit twice with like kind of a pretty expensive fee that goes right to the margin and the bottom line. So it's something to consider, but maybe not. If you've got a fantastic product that's solving a really hard problem for people, maybe ignore what we're saying if you believe that you can really do it.
Yeah. And also the problem here is as well that customers not always understand like what businesses or companies pay to get like a product from the fulfillment center to your front door. They all think it's for free these days. Well, actually for a business, there's going so much money inside the whole process to get a product to a customer.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that you cannot succeed with a heavy product. It's just a very nice perk to have a lightweight product, so you can ship it quick, ship it everywhere, and for reasonable margins.
I have been in business for nearly 20 years, and very few companies I have hired in that time have performed as well as Electric Eye. They have knowledgeable staff, and our project was delivered on time and on budget. Electric Eye has exceeded my expectations, and I look forward to working with them again. That is a direct quote from one of our clients at Electric Eye. Electric Eye is a Shopify Plus partner that has helped over 100 brands migrate, redesign, and optimize their stores since 2016. If you'd like to increase your conversion rate, average order value, and revenue per session, we are the true Shopify experts you've been looking for. Right now, we're offering a free diagnostic to qualified brands that reach out and mention the podcast. Visit electriceye.io today to schedule a call and send us a message. Find out why we have over 50 5-star reviews in the Shopify Partner Directory. Again, that's electriceye.io, electriceye.io. Now, back in 2024, under Bob's leadership, you guys won a pretty cool award. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Not just under my leadership. it was we were both part of the design process, of course. The Red Dot Design Award, I think you're referring to, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a pretty nice thing to receive. Of course, we spent a lot of time on the actual design of the product, and it was before we started here. It was one of the criteria, of course, to make it aesthetic. So took a lot of revisions and a lot of good designers. We didn't design it ourselves, of course. There's people who helped us with that. We're not expert designers, but we did. We had something in mind that was eventually achieved. And there's a lot of work being put into the ergonomics of the actual earplug, and also how it will sound acoustically from the inside. So, a lot of work went into that in such a small product, how people are receiving, together with, of course, the filter, which is now also a patented technology, what makes our product eventually so special. So yeah, the whole design is a pretty impressive piece, and for that we received a great award, which was very well received.
It's funny that you said now the technology is patented. That makes it special. When people are on Shark Tank and they mention they have a patent, that's when you watch the sharks actually start paying attention.
Maybe we should get on Shark Tank.
I don't know if you guys need any funding.
We might. There's always room to talk.
Absolutely. Let's talk about what makes a patented product so special compared to something else.
Well, first and foremost, there's no one who can copy it, and we have something truly special within the product. There's no other universal earplug that reaches the clarity of sound with our earplug. So yeah, good reason to have the technology also patented, so no one can actually copy it. So yeah, that's what it means. Of course, there's a lot of other things when it comes to copying brands. I don't think you can just copy ears other than the colors and the fonts and something like that. We have a lot of other trademarks around our brand. But yeah, it's also when it comes to brand, it's also a feeling that you get with the brand that I don't think can be copied. But having the product not being able to be copied, at least the quality of it, that's a nice asset to have.
Hey, everybody, just a quick reminder. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't. We're releasing interviews like this every week, so don't miss out. Now back to the interview. So Hears has been doing a lot of interesting collaborations. Do you guys want to share more about that?
Correct. Yes. We've had some quite, yes. One of the criteria for the design before we started was to make an earplug that has the potential to also be branded by other brands. So we wanted to make it recognizable by its design and not necessarily by its logo. And that got us to also, it's kind of a manifestation to design it in a way so you can also partner. But it eventually got us to partner with some great festivals, and also with one of the biggest nightclubs in the world, Pasha Ibiza. And we recently also partnered with the French designer brand Yves Saint Laurent, which is not the smallest collaboration. And there's some great names of artists and great other brands in the pipeline that we will partner with. And in this way, we're trying to reach an audience that is initially not necessarily connected to hearing protection, but in this way, we introduce them through a brand they're already liking. So that's a big part of our strategy as well when it comes to building the brand.
And collaborating with YSL proves that you should never give up. I think Bob sent 40 emails before he got like the first reply. And I think that's worth to mention as well. And also, once you have the time to, or, the opportunity to present your product to another brand, make sure you deliver it on a silver platter. So there's like also no room for discussion, or they can only say yes. And that's the way how you should approach collaborating with other brands, making it frictionless as possible for them. Like we had the capabilities to create already some 3D designs to show them how the product would look in real life. And that definitely helped us to, close deals like Apasha or YSL.
Yeah, just browsing the website, it is clear that you guys know what you're doing. It is a master class in kind of like optimization techniques, obviously featuring the insane amount of reviews that you have. But not only that, you're featuring the partnerships that you have. Note the collaborations that you do are just, social proof on steroids that these large brands believe so much in your product that they will do it. And that obviously helps customers believe in the product. You've got the reviews, you've got your partners, you've got the testimonials, you've got the features in various kind of publications. It's always fun to see a website like this that really knows what they're doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Oh yeah, it's fun coming from the e-commerce world, and like when you get on a website and you go, oh yeah, these guys know what's up.
We try to, like, it's of course like a constant building blocks on creating more credibility, creating more urgency, creating a better offer, creating better design. And it's a constant optimization game, of course, for those starting. This is not how we started as well. Of course, it's a 2-year-old brand, but it's not how the website looked on our first day, and it's also the result of building the other brand, Dore Rose, for over 4 years, and how we know what is converting and know how to design it in a way that is both aesthetic, building brand, and converting.
Absolutely. Now, for those that are listening to the show and they want to go check out the product themselves, as an ex-musician, I think I played over 1,000 concerts in my life. I've been to almost as many outside of that. I 100% understand why the product exists and why it is a good idea to own the product. But anyways, go check out this awesome looking website that we're talking about and the amazing looking product itself. And they got the best URL for it. Here's.com. Nick and Bob, any parting words?
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think we should maybe drop a little discount code somewhere, so you can share that with your audience as well. But yeah, thank you so much for having us on your show.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. I appreciate the last few words. And for everyone listening, good luck with building the brand. And it's a fun and exciting journey. And see it not as like something very tough, but enjoy the journey. And if you don't, see the finish line, but your next step, take it and put it into the right direction. So yeah, thanks, Chase. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.